Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the VOD review for Survivor Hero Island. My name is Garen, the club captain and the host of the Silliness. I'm here in the booth by Vitasia, a wonderful co-commentator, is going to be joining me in watching the fun. Also, good thanks to Joker Mage, who is running the production in the background with the restream of the VOD review, and Steph Lively, who is pushing the buttons. Before we get started with tonight's entertainment, we wanted to give a little retrospective on the recent vote that happened after the uh, prior seed regarding the vote that was taking place to eliminate some heroes. We had three heroes eligible for elimination: Cecil, Sid, and Palom, and two of them were going to be kicked off. As it turned out, though, there was a little bit of fun that happened here. So, first we had Jazer, who voted for Cecil and Sid to go, followed by Tallgrant, who also voted for Cecil and Sid to go. And we had Narrowcod vote for Sid and Palom, and then there was Maddock, who voted also for Cecil and Palom. So at this point, we had three votes for Cecil, we had three votes for Sid, we had two votes for Palom. Then, of course, BG Rich came in and made it Palom and Cecil, and with Cecil went up to four, and Palom was at three along with Sid. Oh no, we have a tie. Can't have that happen. So Golbez decided to do the following to break the tie. So let's watch what happened last time when our intrepid heroes went to Golbez to break the tie. Do you see the real terror? Real time Shadow, let's break this tie.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Goodbye, Sid. Yes, he's full. You know what? What isn't enough? Let's end this. Medic! Alright, so, luck of the draw, Sid is the one who got eliminated last time by the comedian. Very unfortunate news there. So, as a result of that, we have 9 heroes left in the pool of available characters. We have no Tella, we have no Cecil, we have no Sid, which means no cover strats, no Crystal Sword hijinks, no early guaranteed D money grinds when early darkness shows up, and no awesome beard displays from Sid. Anyways, moving along here, the flag set is coming up a little bit more challenging than it was in the past. As we have here, the hook route is now forced to be on with the rules of the club that players have selected. And in addition to that, on this seed, we have Wind Crystal, so Z is on. Treasures have been reduced to Wildish, max tier 6. So standard shops down from Pro, the warp glitch has been removed. Uh, and as it turns out, in this particular seed, glitches were chosen to be kept steady by the racer who had voted. So we have Eddie's seed featuring this week, and the objectives are kind of centered around Eddie. So defeat the Water Hag, as in the vanilla game. Defeat the Dark Elf, because that's what's his song is all about. Defeat Cave Magnus, same type of theme. And then the random ones that floated in there are destroy the super cannon and conquer the vanilla Masamune altar. Not very Eddie like things there, but we can throw Eddie in front of a cannon, right?
He's as good a cannon fodder as I think anyone is. I mean, plug a Vard into a cannon, it should stop the. It should blow up the cannon. It makes sense.
Yeah, and we can use the harp and the twin harp to plug the other two cannons up. It's perfect. All right, so again, this is the VOD review, so this race has already happened. So if you see VG Rich or Nerocod in the chat, no need to get alarmed. You're totally fine to join us if they're around. And we're going to get this fun started. So in this particular flag set, which is the episode is called "The Day the Music Discorded," um, we had Eddie starting up with um, Forum, as it turned out, and they get a ninja shirt from a Baron Retainer who looks like a guard. So if we can get this thing started, we will be off and running. All right, so we do have the random kit on, so the third kit will be something a little bit random. Looks like it was a bunch of miscellaneous consumables there. I don't know
Yeah,
which kit that is exactly.
one interesting consumable I saw there. I mean, I saw at least a Bacchus wine and a Moon Veil. That Moon Veil, I think, Garen, you and I both know, can get you through some really sticky situations for some physical bosses that are out there in some not kind spots, depending on if you're trying to keep your levels low.
Yes. Also, shout out to the joke objectives down there. The poem from Joker Mage there, sung to the tune from American Pie. So give that a listen in your ear. It's kind of fun. Thanks to Joker Mage for the plug. BG Rich starting off heading to Edward because we have the free key item on.
That is something that a lot of veteran runners, we keep this flag turned off for so long that having a free key item just, when you have to go to it, sometimes you just forget about it being there.
And it was a Baron key, so that gives a potential early shot to that guard over there that we saw in the Castle of Baron. And Irikad's choosing to delete the free treasure. I'm sorry, the Damesian treasury. A lot of whole goodies there. I saw the free treasury. We got a Cure 3. Some Ethers, so that might be useful if we find some mages.
Not a lot of anything in this early looting from either Nearcat and Beachy Ridge, so it'll be interesting. We don't have a ton of power even to begin with our starting party being Edward Porum. Really, maybe looking for a bow of some kind, and maybe some arrows to be able to maybe pick up another character over on Mount Hobbs here, where Nerocat is going.
Or maybe a Dancing Dagger for Eddie to give a little bit of power early, because Eddie's good with an early Dancing Dagger. Unfortunately, he rolled with a Silver Dagger to start with, not terribly helpful. And Porum has a Silver Staff. This start is Certified Silver.
Yeah, I mean, we do have some J items that might be able to get us through here, depending on who this character is. Neurocad showing us that it is, a Palom. This could be nice, but then there's an evil wall.
But because we have Porum, this puts Twin on the line. All the parties in the front row, so that could be dangerous. And down goes Palom.
That Blizzard, that might be one of the worst characters to use Blizzard. That is an HP, an item that will deal damage based on HP. So Edward with his 60 HP pool right at the moment, not terribly effective with Blizzard.
And we need this next one to do the kill, because otherwise this Porum is going to go down and it's not going to be good. Ooh, survives. Lucky. Slip Bolt won't do it though, because it's HP based. And we get a reset. Probably fine if this goes into the back row. But Niraka will say, we'll come back to this.
Rich ends up finding some vampires here in the Baron item shop. That could be just the thing we need to get through some of these early bosses.
Is going down into the sewers. This is a very early and aggressive play for that. Just because we know we have the there's a grimoire and an assassin dagger that could be useful. You know the guards are susceptible to things like mute bell and various status effects. We can get them off, but we don't know what's going to be sitting behind that throne. Do some out of the way looting. Coffin there. That's very helpful for the guards, wherever they are.
Yeah, this feels like more of a play for the loot that's nearby, more than anything.
We're going all the way up to the castle, it looks like. So we're going to get a check, I think, of what is in there.
Meanwhile, NeroCAD's showing us what is in Eblin and says we're going to take at least a quick look in Eblin Castle. There are 3 monster boxes in this castle, which uh, can make it a little bit risky to loot everything out.
There's a bandana there. Cursed ring, that'll be nice. So if you are not a big fan of Eddie and his very fast agility, you can just stick a cursed ring on him. There's a glass helm too. This is a very nice Castle Eblin here. But does hit the one monster box down here at the end, so that's a reset.
Yeah,
Wish your
got
luck,
just a
and
little
there's
bit
a web.
greedy. Yeah, a little bit greedy. I think I would have probably just kept on walking there because you're right. That right side was loaded. You know, we saw the glass hat. I saw a Zeus gauntlet in there as well. Not that anyone can particularly wield it right at the moment, but still doing. I mean, some great looking loot there.
Yep, well, there's an exit. Not that we really need that because Forum is going to be learning exit soon enough. BG Rich is going to show us this fight. It is Baron Guard. So if we can get a mute off, or sorry, a coffin.
Did look like Rich was trying to get an assassin swoon off, which wouldn't have done. I mean, the way the ATB timer works, it kind of has to be completely emptied. So, not really a good setup for that at the moment.
Is it made worse with the fact that Edward is actually the anchor too? And yeah, Edward goes down. So this kind of a good idea to take a vanilla party there without any real defensive protection because those guards are punchy there. Not usually a
Might
dangerous
be
spot,
able.
but on vanilla's levels, yeah.
Yeah, you need to have a little bit of cheese in order to justify going through that. You know, an hourglass or something along those lines. But kudos
Yeah,
for the
so
try. I mean, it was certainly bold.
yeah, I think if that coffin had gotten off first, maybe, but I think the glass helmet, if that would have been in VG Rich's inventory, would have made a more possible try. So Rich is going to walk backwards out of the sewers, which is a little challenging because you don't usually walk backwards through this level unless we're trying to get out of the basement without having done the throne. Yurkad knows now where all of the monsters are hiding in Eblin, so can dodge them now. If there's any other loot here, after we already had 3 real nice hits on the right side. Looks like not too much so far. G Rich is going to move over meanwhile and give us a look at the Watery Pass. A little out of the way spot that on Wildish loot can yield some pretty nice results.
Fill me in. What's the loot tiers or loot setup that you have for this flag set?
This is currently T Wildish Max Tier 6. So, I mean, that doesn't give you access to Bahamut, for example, in this, because this is not beta, this is 4.5. But you do have access to Leviathan. You can get some nice weapons out of here. There's no holy swords, no adamants. Well, adamants are still on, so if you get the pink tail or you happen to get it from a key item spot or monster box, they're still there to be found.
I
Question is,
will
will any
say,
go ahead?
oh, no, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was say, will anyone risk Adamant Spoonward in this seat since he's the hero?
That would make it a very, very speedy hero, wouldn't it?
Indeed.
Now, what I was going to say is it's interesting. We are seeing quite a bit of looting from both of our runners in this particular seed, which, again, I don't think is surprising given, Porum Edward's start is just about as low power, low impact of a combination as you can get to start any seed.
Also, for as much of the looting as we've seen, there's not really a whole lot of power there for Edward or for Porum. We did see a Charm Rod come out from Nurukad's side for the Palom, which Nurukad doesn't know Palom's around yet, I don't think. A bluff on Palom. Porum's going to try to take advantage of that with a Flare Cast here. And that worked out reasonably well, 459. One more of those, it should get it down.
Yeah, given that they don't have a ton of equipment looted. Oh, did the twin on Palom, so slightly weaker. The way twin ends up working is they'll use the attack stat of the other twin. So you want Porum to be the one to cast twin and bluff up Palom.
And it's usually the way it works. I know there's some cases where it doesn't seem to work that way, but that seems to be some sort of agility voodoo, which I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. It's just the shortcut that I use. Like if you have one of each twin, have Palom bluff and Porum will magically be stronger.
Meanwhile, Nirukad has found an answer for Edward here in the Troya shops. There was a dancing dagger in the weapon shop. In case you didn't find the cursed ring over in Castle Eblin, they are for sale here too. He is telling you it's time to curse the Bard. Bacchus flying in the back of Mount Hobbs. So
Also a charm rod, as I saw. So we're starting to get some of those wisdom items for our Palom now. So we have at least a way to do a little bit more damage now over on Rich's side.
meanwhile, we're seeing Eddie putting on a bandana and a black belt gi, so getting a little bit of power there. Rich is going to head over to Fabul to defend the castle from the vile forces that Baron has decided to throw at today. We'll see exactly what forces they've recruited or what they had the budget for. Rukad's going to invest in some vampires. Probably not a bad idea with a low HP party like we have. This is unfortunately Team Squish, even though Palom is got some good DPS potential. A little poor if there's ever a heroine rogue to be found here in the seed. Yeah, it looks like we have a copy of Porum here in the Baron Inn. That's not going to help. It uses the Blizzard. That's not ideal, considering Edward has only 60 HP to drive it. And the arms are right back. A Gaia drum, that would be a lot nicer for this setup. Okay, that's why I get reflected, so yeah. Hi, Eddie.
Was
Meanwhile,
a nice attempt.
Baron must have a really thin budget today for its attacks. It has sent Yang to his own castle to attack it. That seems a little bit underwhelming here.
It's not great. I mean, it's good for this party with kind of underwhelming power because it feels like we might actually be able to handle it.
The arms explode over on Nerukad's side, but they have almost no HP here, so survives the first fight. What is the second fight? Oh dear, this is the Doctor.
The Doctor with only 39 HP. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be so bad on the first phase with the glass helm, but Oh, there's a spoon over in Fabul Defense. Eddie just became useful.
And just like that, everything changes. We now go from not having very much damage at all to having, realistically, what's the heaviest hitter you can come by in this flag set, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's 255 attack power. Now, right, Eddie's stats aren't the greatest here, but, you know, there's some strength gear available. And that's one of those things where it's like the Fabul defense is often faded, especially in a long sea, where it's like you're trying to hope for the pan before you come back here to double dip it. And Rich is showing us the hidden loot behind the throne. Not much use there today, just to shoot arrows. You almost never see those chests looted, so they are there. So, you know, if you're racing for Dark Matters or passes, it's kind of fun for this game to put something there.
Now, help me out. Is the back row glitch turned on?
It is still enabled. I believe it is possible to take it away in the season if the runners so choose. Nobody has decided to put that fun in play yet.
Community members, Survivor Hero Island folk, you know what to do.
Still join if you'd like to try and influence the flag set or the choice of heroes, because only the racers get to vote on who stays, who goes. And yeah, the flags are getting harder as the season is going along here, so if you like the more challenging or sometimes garbage sets of seeds, it's becoming more your time here because things are going on. All right, Nirka is onto this. Oops, never mind. This is a restart. Sorry. Take your eye away from 1 second, and you think it's somewhere, and it's somewhere else. I get a look at the Antlion Cave now from BG Rich.
Looks like we're about done looting on Rich's side. He says, I've got everything that I really need. Most importantly, that spoon. And another apple. Hey, that's looking real good for Edward there.
Yep. Now, because Edward's the hero, it's like we can't leave him on the floor and hope that he stays, you know, low HP in the anchor here. It's like, nope, he's going to get his levels. He's going to be fast. The question is what you do with that speed. Either make him into a DPS with that spoon, or you can try to nerf him with the cursed ring and hope that the rest of the party can get enough power to overcome having an Edward anchor. One shot. Like some calamari.
Yep. That was nice and quick. That was expected. And we are rewarded with, hey, ooh, there's our underground answer.
So no skipping the Antlion Cave today. It is required to progress. It is a guaranteed hook route. So far we are not seeing the greatest of strength here for this. We have Callum, Porum, and Eddie heading into the hook route at this point, unless there is... But we don't know who the Baron character is actually. We can get the Baron character, or we can try to. Maybe there's something else here, like maybe a package or a sand ruby or an earth crystal. Or a darkness crystal. We'll have to see how this all plays out. But there are hopefully some other character choices for you go underground. Otherwise, this is a squishy party. EKC could really ruin your day if he shows up in the underground somewhere.
Yeah, with Edward's hide, Really?
You kind of have to get it off though first.
That's fair. I was going to say, I think Baron is probably a very strong play to want to go for. Getting that extra character, getting a few more levels. I think the key is going to be getting that Palom up to Quake levels. You get between Palom having Quake and Eddie having the spoon, that would also put Eddie at a high enough level to be able to survive at least a couple attacks. Um, we'd be in pretty good shape with this party to be able to get to the underground.
So we found the first objective here. The required Dark Elf is taking a bath. Because apparently sitting in Cave Magnus with all that rust makes you really, really dirty.
Waterfalls are great for bathing, it's true.
Not recommended at Niagara Falls, but yes, in most cases, waterfalls are nice for this.
I mean, yeah, the small level waterfalls, like nature shower, the kinds of things that you see in nature documentaries that make you want to go out into the wild. Not, yeah.
Alright, so that is one objective down on BG Rich's side. We'll loot out the couple chests here and find an ice brand. That might be nice for some leg that's coming up in the future, hopefully. Okay, Nirukad did get through the Baron Inn. Is rewarded with an adamant rock, which is half of an objective. So took a little time, didn't get a character, but did possibly get something of value. Not that
It all
Eddie's
depends
forge is
on
going
where
to be
that.
the forge is going to be better than the spoon, but you know.
Oh, checking the Mist Cavern, just on the off chance that the Water Hag is here.
Vanilla Divas would be hilarious here. It is a CPU instead. Well, alright, we're skipping that.
Right now, it looks like Nirukad, after spending all that time on Baron Inn, says, "Okay, let's go to some of these other spots." There's a lot of checks that Rich has been able to make, while Nerukad spent a lot of time there in Baron Inn. So, will be interesting to see how much, if there's anything that Nerukad ends up skipping in order to try to play catch up here.
Meanwhile, BG Rich has found the Staleman chest in the first part of Cave Eblin here. A little bit punchy here. So we'll see if it just gets skipped now on the way down to the hook route and see. Okay, we're going to skip that box, it looks like.
I'm really interested if Rich is planning on just looting everything out, getting the character and backing out to do Baron, or if this is a play for a dive. Oh, and there's hourglasses. That's tempting.
You also have camping gear and elixirs. So this is your one-stop shop for all of your healing needs. Buy some hourglasses.
I saw him buy 3. I'd like to buy 5 because especially at these levels, you got your 3 chests in Eblin Castle. You got 2 on the way down in Eblin Cave, and then in the upper Tower of Babel. By then, you should be in a pretty solid setup that you don't need any more hourglasses. But I think the magic number personally is 5 for those.
Depends on how many he's planning to take on the way down, because Dwarf Axe, that'll be nice if Kane shows up. There's no key items in the boxes today, so I mean, it's just if you want the experience from them, which Rune Ring, that's nice for Eddie, Palom. Yeah, I mean, it depends on who the character is down here. I mean, there are certain characters, if you see them, it's like, hey, my problems are solved. And other ones, where it's just like, eh. First, I think the worst thing to see down here at this point in time would be a Yang, because he's going to have no levels. It's going to take time to get him levels. He won't really contribute at this point in time. Charm Harp. Eddie, you are not so charming with that, sorry.
No, I mean, I think we were already back row glitched anyway. Light Spear.
Yep, so if Kane shows up, Kane will be very well equipped in the Seed. I'm pretty sure a Defense Sword started us out. And we have Edge, that's not so bad to see. And DKC is in the second spot of the hook route. The friendlier of the two spots to see him, actually.
It hits not quite as hard. I think a little bit slower as well, so you might be able to get an agility set up to have that Eddie hide.
True enough. We also have Wyvern standard time of Battle Speed 6 to help us out. It also works on DKC too. It's not exclusive to Wyvern.
How are we feeling about this Edge, though, showing up?
Well, I mean, if we get the darts, it could be nice. Doesn't really have the equipment right now to really shine, but maybe that'll change. Gaia Helm, Palin's best in slot.
That always blows me away when you think about it. Gaia Helm being Palin's best in slot for the headpiece.
Well, you know. They weren't expecting there to be a black mage in the party other than Rydia long term, and there was a Tiara for that. Urkai is going to do the Fabul defense. Find out that Kane has apparently decided to betray Fabul here. There was an earlier question in chat about how much does betrayal cost. Based on what Yang's actions are, it looks like a cup of coffee is about the price.
I mean, just sounds like that Fabul needs to be paying their, senior guards a little bit more.
I've heard that's all volunteer pay, actually.
See, this is what happens when, you do not pay, your civil servants of your kingdom a living wage. They are susceptible to corruption and outside influence. This is just classic case study in why you pay your people.
I believe one of the Caesars made the comment of, just pay the army, don't worry about anything else. It's not bad advice, I suppose, but the rest of the state tends to go to pot when that happens anyways. But we are going to see a repeat of the Eddie betrayal. Oh, sorry, the Eddie betrayal. Yang betrayal here. Quite stab Eddie in the back because we are not at the around the world location at the back spot of Mount Ordeals, but close enough.
Meerkat's going to see the spoon after completing this karate, and I imagine there will be some self-inflicted kicks to the backside because this spoon makes a lot of things that Meerkat was struggling with earlier seem almost trivial.
It is a big upgrade in power, that's for sure. BG Rich, meanwhile, is diving into the hook route and is going through the tower. Looks like he's going to be skipping the chests on the way down. So we're going to get a look pretty soon, I think, at who the mystery boss is sitting in the first slot of this hook route. And there are still some nasty choices that there can be for that because that's a very fast spot and also fairly punchy. So this party setup, seeing D Lunars here, are probably about the worst possible thing to see.
Yeah, I'm curious if between having that edge, which is a nice power boost as well, even though you don't have all the equipment, Longsword Assassin perfectly viable for him. But also seeing that Dark Knight Ceciled, where okay, there's a possibility that you can sneak through here with some pretty low levels. Paladin's at level 17, doesn't even know Virus, I think, quite yet.
Yeah, it does not at this point. It's still very basic. We're going to see though, is this doable or do we need to get some levels at some of these boxes? I hate to backtrack to boxes if it's too tough, but discretion is the better part of valor at times. We are getting a battle speed adjustment to 6, just in case it's something nasty. Pro tip, if you decide to do this, remember to change it back after the fight's over. Don't be like me, where it's like you realize a fight or two, it's like, I left it on 6. This is very doable. This is the Kaipo guards.
This is incredibly doable. These guards do not hit terribly hard at all.
And if we still have that coffin sitting in the back pocket, coffin to the officer basically will end this fight right now.
Don't know if Rich remembers it or not.
We're getting a look-see through the... Oh, maybe not. Getting a stop on the officer. Apparently stopped as...
I think that you still have to cue the verbal actions, because I think stop will work. It's just a matter of...
Well, this works. The Assassin Dagger did the swoon on the... That works. Nirokad is choosing to go up the ugly mountain. We see if there's a... Is this a quarter leg or a full leg? It's the full thing.
So what ended up happening there on Rich's side is he cast stop, but the action to command to attack was already queued up. So as soon as that happened, the stop occurred with what is effectively a completely empty ATB bar, which allowed that swoon proc to actually hit on Edge's side. And ultimately, it doesn't matter that everyone else was knocked down because there's no experience at that spot anyway.
Yep. He's safe. Very good. It's DKC. You want to be safe. You don't have to go through that Kaipo guards fight again. Even though it's not terribly challenging, it does take some time if you happen to wipe. So, leg is down on Nirokad's side. And we see that there's a water hag sitting here at the back spot of ordeals. So this is an objective spot.
All right, so each runner will have one objective down, because this should be trivial for Nirokad at this point.
Yes. And Edge, I think if Edge can get one heal off on himself, this will be also through for him. Nope. So there's going to be a reset here. I'll put the curse string on Eddie and put him in the center slot and make Edge in the second slot. That might be a better setup here.
Yeah, you need to feel like we need to be doing something a little bit different.
Okay, he's going to use a Cure 2 on Edge. It is probably enough to get through. Then we can get up either Palom or Porum with the life command here.
Looks like he's going to opt just to let it play.
Okay. And the life has to be queued before DKC starts speaking there.
That being said, we are through into the underground. It's now really interesting because Waterhag was up on Mount Ordeals. There is the Luca, so that's something that take it or leave it. But hey, we got the Waterhag. The Dark Elf is in the Watery Pass, which I don't believe I mean, Narrowcat's not done any checking of the additional boss spots. So both runners have kind of an advantage up because I don't know when Rich is going to do ordeals. Like if you fade that spot, it's a pretty popular fade because it's so time intensive.
Also, considering what's happened with the character voting, you have no Tella, you have no Cecil. There is no possibility of ever getting them going forward. So it's like only reason to go up there's either a boss hunt or a key item check. So it's really been disincentivized by the racers themselves, and fading is going to be more popular, I think, with that. And if there's value up there in a seed, it's going to pay off for the people who go up and do it.
I tell you what, though, the more seeds that I play that have boss hunts associated with them, three boss checks that are relatively quick plus a key item. Cecil and Tella getting powered up is all well and good, but if you have any number of boss hunts, not to mention, I mean, I guess Demas isn't included since we have the free key item, but when you're hunting a boss, 3 hits for like a minute, minute and a half check, not a bad time investment, all things said.
Yeah, as long as there's something rude here that causes you to go back down the mountain. Like a back attack value you can't get through or something like that.
No, absolutely. It's something that if you're doing boss hunts, you probably and you don't have to go up there. You check it maybe after your first swing through the underground when you're at mid 20s or something where you can knock it out very fast. And there's the twin harp at the Feymarch freebie.
All right, so that's another objective on the table now for BG Rich. And some coffins and ethers here in the Feymarch shop. So that's going to be worthwhile. Nirokad is going to challenge the Baron Sewers here, and we'll probably get through and show us who is the King of Baron today.
I gotta say, for everything that's happened in this seed, both runners have absolutely checked, just gone in completely opposite directions. Rich has decided to, he found the hook and immediately made the dive into the underground. Narukad spent a lot of time in Baron Inn and then is, I think, being a little bit more thorough with everything. Has the hook, but says, hey, this Baron looks really attractive because I would love to get another character.
Let's see. Narukad is beginning this fight, and unfortunately, Eddie does not quite strive to take down the guards in one shot here, so it looks like the magic is pretty weak at this spot. The guards aren't getting their size and piggies off. And Nirukad is through. Which is giving us a peek of the Feymarch bosses, because it doesn't have both of them down yet. It's French Vanilla Ashura sitting the king spot today, with the Braina Dolls taking over the queen spot.
Both of those are incredibly doable at low levels, depending on your setup. If you have Quake on Palom with even a little bit of wisdom gear, then that should be pretty doable there.
King of Baron is a bunch of imps in a trench coat. While we see that BG Rich is just going to check the shops and leave the Feymarch because Summon Flag is not on, so those bosses in the throne room completely irrelevant, even though they are not the worst to get through.
Okay, so it's just K main, K moon.
K main, K moon is all it's on for this particular seed. So Feymarch, it's like you're here for the freebie, you are here for the shops, and not much else. You see samurai arrows here, along with Edge's favorite weapon, the Drain Spear. Beatrice not going to buy any of those, though, and is simply going to leave the Feymarch, looks like, at this point. The character here, ooh, there's a Fuin Baron.
That's a bit of a power spike right there.
Yeah, that makes the Hokrav die even freer than it was before, because PKC can't kill that Fu probably at this level.
No, not at all.
French vanilla twin there. It's on the wrong side. You're going to sacrifice yourself to hold up a wall. Make sure you actually face the wall to do it.
And the foot is wedged in between, so it can't slide. It's not holding the wall up, it's just foot. Oh
Oh,
boy.
and Darkness Crystal, which is actually required because in this flag set, the pass is not currently on. So they have to walk down the LST to get to Z. And Nirukai is going to give us a check of that lunar dais, it looks like, right away. Fu's at 1500 HP, already knows almost all the white spells. Let's see if there's any nuke here.
No berserk, which is interesting. So that's it does
We
no
do have
nuke though.
no, yeah, knows nuke, knows virus, no quake yet. It's kind of funny about Berserk. I often find that Berserk is one of the last white spells that Fu learns most of the time.
All right. Well, as Nerukad summons the lunar whale, uh, BG Rich appears to be doing Sheila 1 to the setup there. Still very interesting. Both of them have one objective done. It'll be interesting to see how things go. Rich has the ability to do the Twin Harp, which is right away, but Nerukad has the ability to also, I mean, the Masamune altar is up there as well if you really want to dive that.
It's a defense sword, unfortunately. Um, Now, Rich is set up to do the Magnus, though, because 3 of the characters are already down and the other was at 1 HP.
Seems like a perfect time to me.
Irukad is taking the moon cruise. Let's see if the attractions are worth it. Stop off for the Dias check. The captain tells you to be back on the whale in 5 minutes, so they leave for the blue planet without you.
If you're Nerukad, you also check this item shop that's up here.
Well, there are no sirens in the shop, so it's kind of a little bit less value to check it, unless you're looking for Bacchus wine or something like that. That is about the most underwhelming Dias character we probably could have conjured up at this point. Dong. Can't dump him because he's not a full party yet, but I think Yang is not long for this party if someone else shows up.
Well, Nerukad hasn't gone the hook right yet, so no edge, and you gotta think that you'd replace, one martial artist for the other.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yang just doesn't shine unless there's a lot of levels. And there's Bacchus wines here on the moon, so it's a party on the moon. It's on to the poison axe, even though that's usually a nice bit of Vendloot's cash. Rich is going right into the Twin Harp check. And immediate perish because Edge is holding metallic stuff, the other 3 are dead. So, in Free Enterprise, kind of boring to hear the same music tune from Eddie all the time, so we randomize this. There's over 500 tunes, I think, in the library. Let's give a listen while DJ Spoony B is giving us a nice little tune. All right, we had a nice long rendition there of the Earthbound music there, with some dutes in the background, provided by our lovely Pale Dim. That's objective number 2 down for BG Rich, with a Moonveil for a reward. Not bad.
Meanwhile, NeuroCAD said, yeah, let's open up at least one box, try to get a couple levels. It does look like Quick Kid is online now, in addition to Fu. Uh, levels a little bit more important for NeuroCAD, investing those levels in a Yang to be maybe a little bit more useful.
It's definitely useful in absorbing the charm there from that Lamia, because, yeah, at this level, Yang wasn't a threat to anybody. BG Rich is going to head off, and it looks like re-challenge Baron, now that there's some more levels and there's a Fu available. Oh, nope, I forgot, doesn't have Fu yet. Gonna get it here. We do have Gaia hats and ninja hats for sale in Baron, in case your headgear is feeling subpar.
So Rich is now following the trail, going back, doing Baron. It'll be interesting. We talked about that Water Hag being in Ordeals 2. NeuroCAD is not that. Oh.
Ooh. Adamant Armor in Castle Eblan. This has been available to both runners the entire game so far, and it's now 47 minutes in. Are you feeling behind if you see this now?
Not sure if I do, because as you mentioned before, the boxes are not required in this particular flag set. This is something that NeuroCAD is doing, I think, in preparation of diving into the underground. And the issue comes into play that it's like we're in almost overkill territory. I think I think he's not feeling terribly.
Oh yeah, we
ready
have
to
it
go
going on
the
here.
underground.
Adamant Spoonward is online. I love to see that, because that
Or
is
when it absolutely must die.
it does mean that your mages are not going to be making a whole lot of casts here, because yeah, Eddie is way too speedy now. We'll see if the Adamant Armor comes off Eddie later on in the sea, when slow anchoring is usually preferred, but if NeuroCAD goes into Z with Adamant Spoonward as the anchor, I'm all here for it.
Oh, and a Masamune. We know that there's an edge sitting there in the hook route. So NeuroCAD will be actually pretty nicely set up.
It does have to go and retrieve the hovercraft, because do not bring it down beforehand.
And if there was ever going to be a time that Nerukad would stop and check the watery pass, I think that was it.
I think you might be right about that. So it means that Nerukad is going to be looking for a tower key, a legend sword, and yeah, that's actually all that she needs. Staleman putting people to sleep again.
Oh, Staleman.
There we go with the life glitch. So Beatrice is gonna get the darkness crystal here. See if he decides to head off to the moon. Well, first thing is use a Soma drop on food, get to 200 MP. That allows a fourth nuke to come off.
There's a gigantic stack of cash in that double Staleman chest, also known as an Excalibur.
A giant stack of cash or a one-time dart of desperation. If Nirika decides to go hybrid strats for Z, that'll make a nice dart for a lot of damage. On the other hand, if it's a full reflect shot, it'd still be a nice bit of damage. I mean, probably want to take Eddie's spoon on a full reflect and dart it first, but you know, different things for different folks, I suppose. Looks like we are getting at least a peek of the basement throne. Which again, because Nerukad has not seen the water hag yet, doesn't know that it's on Mon Ordeals. This is a logical check. If there's nothing here, we're gonna just reset out of it because there's no key item here. This is free, in which case you might take it for the experience. I think we'll be resetting momentarily once we see what this is. Well, if this was not on free key item, that would have been a check that would have been taken for the free key item or for the key item over with Rydia's mom. But Rydia's mom not appearing in this scene.
And it does look like immediately we're going to the moon.
All right. It's interesting going to visit the moon early on this flagship because, again, with no pass and knowing there's no pass, Masamune Altar is the logical last check on the way to Z on this one because, you know, it's on the way. If you go to the moon, you're going to have to go back to Earth and then double back at some point. Okay. So, we are going to check now of what am I saying? Check of? We've already been here. Yeah. Boss. Looks like Nirkad's still doing some looting down here. True, true with that Luca key. No warp glitch, so only Nerocod has access to whoever is down there right now. So the boss isn't any value, but it could still have a tower key or a legend sword, which are the only two things left that we don't know where they are. We need for certain. Rich is going back to the blue planet, having seen what's up here. I want any part of the higher hairdryer chest.
Yeah, Rich has not really emphasized leveling or doing the monster boxes. Really, just been kind of happy with and rolling with what he's found. And I think this is a good time to do the ordeals check. You're in your mid 20s. You can still fly through this pretty quickly, and we'll certainly be happy with the water heading spot that is up here. So that will be 3 of 5 that we need to get done for
Yep.
Rich, with the ability, I mean, at least access to the Masamune altar. So at that point, we're looking for both parts of Adamant or the Tower Key.
Oh, it would be one part because remember, I think the Adamant Rock is here on Ordeals. Ordeals is hard required because it has 1.5 objectives on it.
Or where's the Luca Key? I think.
Um.
Yeah, Luca Key is from Ordeals. Adamant was
Okay, never.
from something else. It was from Baron.
Oh, okay. I see. I wasn't seeing it lit up on Rich's side. That's why I was thinking it was over here. Never mind.
Yeah, I think the issue is that it was Baron in, correct? And it was just
Okay. Again, all
it was a
right.
nasty boss that Nerukad just spent a long time on. I don't know if Rich has done it.
Aha. Okay. Well, that's divergence there. Okay. We get Ruby actually leaving with the script instead of just going down. And Rich's Who knows nuke. Yeah, there's a tongue twister for you. That shows you the divergence in bosses because when Hirukad got the Fu 15 or 20 minutes ago, Fu already knew nuke at that time. It's the good news about the water hag being hit in the next spot of ordeals. Hirukad is going to launch the Falcon and be the
Well, the question I was asking initially, what's going to happen first? Rich climb ordeals to get the water hag, or Nerukad checking the waterfall? I don't think that waterfall is gonna be checked. So it really is a matter of just finding the other half of Forge and the super cannon. So the only spots left that we know that we haven't checked yet, then, and there's going to be some chains here. We don't know where the pan is. We don't know where the rat tail is. We don't know where Earth Crystal is. So we have the Luca key check, which Nerukad can do, but we also have this dwarf castle check, which is going to be new information. If it leads us to the tower key, for example, if tower key is here, and I mean that certainly leads us to the tower and 2 checks where I mean it could be a solid routing for Nerukad.
You know what would be really fun now too is if any progression is locked away on the moon, it means they're both gonna end up triple diving the moon because you've already there first checked the character. If Kiyomi is on one of the lunar dais, you have to go there a second time. You have to go back down to the Earth, turn in whatever you've got up there, and then go back a third time.
I think you and I have very different definitions of fun.
Um, I'm just the one who gave the possibilities. The runners are the ones who've chosen this themselves. They have nobody to blame for themselves. An ant lion down the first spot of the dwarf castle, so not too bad over here. Looks like Fu now knows Quake for Nerocod. That's helpful. And as we saw earlier, no, we didn't see it earlier. Hello. This is Bahamut sitting in the role of Golbez. Another Duke Porum, so that's not terribly helpful. Where are all the characters in this seed? There are supposed to be 9. We've only seen, I think, 6 of them so far.
Well, when it comes right down to it, I think we're at a pretty good spot though with where our party's at. We have, it's not quite melee heavy, but you certainly have 2 heavy hitters with Spoonward and Edge, um, a couple black mages in Fu and Palom, and then a dedicated white mage in Porum. This is a party that, with the appropriate levels, can get through Z very, very easily.
Yeah, I don't think we're taking Rydia at this point if she shows up. I don't think we are taking. Let's see who else is left. We aren't probably taking Kane because I don't think there's a lot of value in that. Who's the leftover that I can't remember who it is at this point. Oh yeah, Rosa. Hello. The other white mate. Tower key.
There's the tower key. Oh boy, I manifest it.
You manifest something that's already been finished before you even spoke. Maybe.
Yeah, I said, hey, tower key into doing tower, so we're going to do super cannon, and then the legend sword is going to be in either the super cannon room or atop a tower.
Doesn't have to be.
Well, Rich is showing us what's in Luca Cave right now, so we are certainly we're still very diverged between the 2 runners. Like, I don't think we've gotten much overlap ever.
Kind of amazing to think about, considering that, this has been all limited to Earth checks so far.
Yeah, they just each managed to be in very, very different spots from one another. Let's see. So Rich had the Twin Harp came from.
Oh no, it's the magma key. That's one for the pile, but it's not anything else other than getting to 10 key items at this point. What do you have to fight to get through it? Ew. That's
Negative Ghost Rider. Nope.
You have a third curse string on Nerocod's side in the Tower of Babel. I mean, the seed is telling us, like, curse him! Curse him! And Nerocod's like, nope, pedal to the metal. We are still doing Adam and Spoonward here. Rich is going to do the Dwarf Castle. We'll give him the very good news that, excuse me. Why was this good news? Oh yeah, the tower key. This is the objective. Hello.
Yeah, it is an objective. So this is actually going to put Rich in go mode.
Yep, it'll be a dash to the Masamune altar from here.
Little worried about levels. Not gonna lie. I mean, we're all right for everything on the Earth or on the blue planet right now, but not feeling too terribly good about having to do Z right now.
Well, here's an interesting question for you, though. Even though you can't buy sirens, you do have an edge available. You can steal them. You steal them from the tower, since you have to go there anyways.
I always forget that, and that is exactly what I would do. Honestly, I would be shocked if one or both of these runners don't do that.
All right, we found a Mylon and Friends, which is no challenge at all here in the cannon room. That'll be 2 objectives down for Nerocod at this point. We'll keep going up the tower to see. It was what, the Magus Sisters we picked up here earlier.
Yeah, wouldn't be. I would like a mute knife for this, but certainly with the party we have, this is kind of a pretty good spot for the Magus Sisters because this is a very low magic attack power spot.
Yep. So I mean, and we have Quake on Fu, we have Quake on the Quack Kid, and we have a Spoonword. I don't think these sisters are very long for the world at this point. BG Rich is going to get the tower key from Luca. Uh, Urban Fashion just swapping one key for another this time around.
I'm honestly a little bit surprised that those walls are landing. Like I thought the magic was so low here that they wouldn't even land.
Never actually seen a wall fail, so I'm not sure. And the Naga Sisters have a package, which is probably never going to be opened unless you are really feeling bad about this party composition, but I can't see it.
Nope, I can't really see it either. Doesn't look like Mirrorcat is going to be opening any boxes trying to get sirens as well. Just kind of retreating out and seeing what we got.
Meanwhile, it looks like BG Rich has the opposite thing in mind, is stealing sirens and put a stop on the alert to reduce the spam of messages from it in the meantime. I'm not getting a crying from Porum to increase the chances of getting the siren. Like that failure there. I mean, the cry does help. See how many Rich decides to take. I mean, I would probably be taking roughly, I would say 10 in this case. I'm not sure what you would go for, but that would be my rough idea.
10 is a nice safe number. I mean, it really depends on how many bosses you plan on fighting. We don't have a ton of bosses, and we're also sitting at not quite 10 key items. So 10 feels about right. Meanwhile, Narrowcat, hey, there's a second adamant armor from that tower key turn in.
Okay, so we've already got an adamant sitting on Eddie. Who do you put this next one? Do you put it on Food? Do you put it on Edge? Put it on Palom? What are you going with?
That is a great question. I would probably put it on my Fu, just because he can double as both my healer for the Z fight that's coming up, and also a designated nuker as well.
I would probably be picking Food too, but also because Food doesn't have any stat growth, unlike Palom, who's going to be able to get higher damage naturally if we take him all the way up to nuke. So this is a case of buffing your weaker Black Mage. Hey, get some love to BG Rich in the chat here. Thanks for joining us. Alright, Neurocod has gotten the Harp, I think, from the Feymarch freebie, so that should be another objective available for Neurocod. Not quite go yet because do not have the Dark Elf just yet.
So at this point, we know that our path to the forge is likely somewhere on the moon.
Let's see. Can't be anywhere else on the Earth. I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we've checked everything else. So, um, Rich certainly setting up for what's going to be a great grind. Uh, Once the sirens are done, Nerukad is probably. I mean, we have the Water Hag going to be doing Magnus almost immediately. But after that, yeah, we'll see how Rich does on his grind. But I don't know. Everything seems to be set up just kind of perfectly for Rich right at the moment.
A question for you on the grind thing. I mean, there's 8 key items currently on Rich's side here. And we know we're going to get, as long as it goes all the way up the tower, what was up there? I think there was a package. So, I mean, he will have 9 when he leaves the tower, probably. Question is, do you take the eggs on Earth with just 9, or do you go for the Azumune altar, get your 10th from the crystal, and do the dragons on the moon?
I would personally do Dragons on the Moon, and if I knew I was close, I mean, we know that we're going to get. I mean, we get the adamant from that. He may not do top of tower. He may say, "I'm good with 8 key items," and just go. At which point, I wouldn't necessarily blame him for doing that. Um,
I think the only reason I might decide to check it is it's like you're only a legend sword away. Oh, actually, wait, never, it doesn't have the adamant rock, so scratch that. If this was Nerocod, that logic would be in play.
yeah, no, absolutely. I can see it if you were Narrowcut, because Narrowcut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Narrowcut's at 9 right now.
Well, not only that, but it's like you're only missing a legend sword at that point. If you get the legend sword, you can skip the Masamune altar, which could be nasty. We haven't seen our gauntlet yet, I don't think.
Yep, it'll be interesting to see what Rich ends up doing in this circumstance. I would tend to probably not key item hunt. If I'm at 9, absolutely, I'm right there with you. I would hunt for that last key item, check a couple spots. 8, probably not when I'm just grinding.
Oh, correction to Rich's count only actually has 7 key items. Magma Key was left behind.
Oh, even better. Okay, now we're at 7.
Yeah, we are going to get 8th if Rich goes up to the top of the tower. If it does not, then yeah, we're gonna be at 7. Okay, there is music going on over on Nerukai's side, but the audio is still on BG Rich's side, so looks like we aren't going to get a reprise of that. That was happens with the VOD reviews, just because sometimes there's audio issues on the other side, so we'll keep on going here. Paladin's not going to be long for this world over on Nerukai's side, because Nuke is going to take it down. A little bit faster than for BG Rich. BG Rich is going to get the Adamant, which is nice news. Did not go up the rest of the tower, so looks like the strategy is going to be to take the Sirens here on Earth without the XP bonus, and there are 20 of them, so that's basically 10 if you had the bonus multiplied by 2. And it looks like the strategy is going to be
yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense because at this point, I mean, I think I would be virusing with Fu or with Palom because that's one-shot cast with enough Wisdom Gear. But this works just as well. Get some levels, we'll see if Rich will go all the way up. Your conflict is going to check before leaving Earth for the boss hunt. You'll be rewarded with that by realizing this is go mode, because now Arcus in hand, up to the moon, has 9 key
That makes
items.
this a much closer race than before. So this will be go mode for Nerukad, although Nerukad does not have a grind.
That is true. Might take an altar on the moon, or might decide to go key item hunting because only one away from 10. Both runners are in go mode. Both have completed the same 4 objectives. It looks like the Legend Sword is going to remain forever buried wherever it may be sitting, because the Masamune altar is open to us, unless it is super, super rude. And I can't really imagine that the runners couldn't handle at this point when they get properly leveled.
Yeah, depending on what it is, it's still very doable. We have some still relatively free things that are on the menu. You know, I would still count like Plague to be relatively free because we have the melee set up to do it. I would still count, you know, we still have King Queen Evelyn, which we haven't seen anywhere else. Still free, still absolutely on the table. There's some bosses that we can cheese our way through, which I'm willing to at least roll the dice. Go down there, take a peek at the altar. If it's something free, great. We get that great experience combo. Then we can save, get our 10th key item from that, and then maybe open a couple more boxes down here on the moon to get us up there after the 10 key items.
Yep, so we'll see if Nirokad heads for the Murasame altar. That's probably what this is. It's key item hunt. If it's a straight dive for the Masamune altar, this is rolling the dice that you're going to get there. Is a Murasame altar play, though. So the hope here is either Legend Sword, which, you know, might be faster than the altar, depending on what's there, or 10th key item, which will make the grinds all that much better. It's an Odin.
And that edge still has, I think, a Thunderclaw equipped.
I believe so, yes. So this is going to be pretty strong from the physical side of the team, but the with the adamant armor on edge, not terribly vulnerable to that punch from Odin. Because now that the Thunderclaw might be on, though, that was kind of weak if that's Thunderclaw equipped, because Eddie's out damaging Edge here.
Oh, never mind. That looks like a Masa Ninja Sword. So.
Oh, there's the quads from Fu, so at least someone showed up to do their work today. And Eddie is going to put it to rest like the hero that he is. Coffee was unintentional, by the way. That is key item 10. It's a pink tail. You want a third adamant armor.
Not enough to go down to the moon and get the... No, not that much. I don't want it that much.
If we had found the Legend Sword somewhere and wanted to go back to the Earth, we could do that. But without a pass, not so much. But this will double the experience from the Ribbon altar, from the Masamune altar. Gives Nirokad a bit more grinding options. Maybe there'll be a box taken on the way down here. You don't have vanilla boxes on, so you don't really know what you're going to be getting if you open one of these. It's kind of like Forrest Gump and his box of chocolates here. But we've got boxes of monsters instead.
Yeah, with 2 adamant armors, I think I'd be opening a couple of these boxes, because if you get, you know, the Warlock carry chests are certainly fantastic experience. The behemoths are absolutely doable with adamant Spoonward. Just have him be the only one swinging, everyone else just kind of support. The only ones you're really probably scared of are Bimmy and Jimmy and the other dragon chests, but those are I think you take the gamble and you do it.
They're using the magical version of Coffin now, the Fatal Spell, which doesn't get a whole lot of play usually in Free Enterprise, but it has the same effect, and Fu is probably high enough that can get these off.
You gotta wonder how high Rich is going to grind. Do you think he's going to go all the way up to Nuke on Paolo?
There might be a play here. Palam's getting pretty close. What, about 45 now? So about 7 levels away. We're probably close to all the sirens that we have here. You see that Nirukad is elected to do Gold Dragons, which, done right, are 180,000 experience a pop, versus Rich is getting 34,000 per siren here.
That would mean that Nirukad did get some sirens.
I think we had 1 or 2 that were in the starting equipment or that were looted somewhere along the way. There aren't many, but there might be just enough.
I was going to say, yeah, with the setup, with double XP and 180,000 with double experience, it's plenty. Oh, he had 1 single siren. Okay.
Well, 6 levels on Palom and Borum is pretty good as a boost here. Let's see here. Are we going to get a peek at the ribbon altar for some 100,000 experience points? Maybe.
I did see those moon veils in the inventory as well. We keep forgetting that we have options here.
Now, forget that 200,000 experience. There's an elements here to ruin that plan. This is split experience.
Well, if we end up just killing the first 2 out of that, I don't know if we have the bat to be able to do that. I don't know if we have the firepower.
Well, speaking of firepower, this is a stage we want to get out of pretty quickly if we can here, because those fire spells are going to start to hurt. Yep, now we're into the water phase. That Ice 3 is a little bit mistimed. That will actually not be as good on this Azo. It won't heal it, but it's not the massive damage you'd hope for.
No, but both Eddie and Edge, I think those are the 2 adamants at this point are on Edward and Edge, and they're swinging for the fences every time.
And down goes the turtle. The elements fight. Yeah, 121. It's still split, but it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah, just bypass Vovalas entirely.
Life and Legend. So
hey,
there is
Legend Sword.
Your choices today were go to the moon for the Ribbon altar or go to the moon for the Masamune altar. The difference is Masamune, you can go right on to Z. Ribbon Room, you're going right back down to the Earth. And we have a Wyvern here with Globe 199 back. Unlike our CPU, only does it once. That's nice.
And this is, as I recall, a relatively low HP spot on the moon, because this is originally the plague fight. So I think this is pretty easy to get through with the Zergers that we have.
The only thing I'd be concerned about here possibly is the fact that Eddie still has adamant armor on, which is not making this Wyvern very slow, but Eddie and Edge are pretty fast, regardless. Our twin edges actually get through this pretty nicely. Still no look on Palom yet. We find a pan, so all the missing chain key items are up here apparently.
So about level 46, I think that's about where Rich is. So neither runner has Nuke on their Palom, but certainly has quite a few levels right at the moment.
To quote a famous philosopher of free enterprise lore, levels are good.
So with that, they are both in the same room. Rich is going to take a safety save. Nerukad's certainly on the way to the altar. I think we're going to get a little bit of a setup here.
The big question is, if you're Nerukad and you get this Masamune altar down, do you swag walk it right to Z or walk back into a safety save?
Fast Eddie, I'm probably safety saving.
Oh,
And I
man.
called it. I called it. I'm a witch.
I don't know if I'll go that far considering, again, this wasn't live, but yeah, it's kind of hilarious to see these two down here. The King and Queen of Eblan, totally free. The runners could have done this literally the first time they visited the moon a half hour ago.
I mean, I didn't. I'm doing this blind. I didn't watch anything, and I didn't run the particular race, so I ran it blind. So I'm still a witch.
A witch with time travel powers, apparently. Okay. Anyhow, King Queen Evelyn, yeah, totally free here. Nice chunk of experience too for our mages here. We're just taking down some gold dragons here. There's Meteo for that Palom. A Dragon Whip.
Yeah, Meteo and Cure 4 for Porum, which you don't see Porum getting to Cure 4 too terribly frequently.
If I've got Porum, I usually want to make sure she's got it, even though it takes a while. It's because, you know, we don't really have a whole bunch of magic roids here for her to get good Cure 3s, so.
No, that's fair. So we are
You're-
safety saving on Nerukad's side.
You know, Z's not exactly the freest of fights ever, really, especially at the levels that we're at. So I can totally buy this. This is a nice way to not have to go through the King and Queen of Evelyn again, even though it's like they're totally free, but they still take a minute to get through.
Ooh, that is 46 agility on our hero. This is gonna be a speedy Z.
Yep, it's not the worst agility in the world. I mean, it's just over the 42 threshold that is the cutoff point for yeah, Z's breakpoints are roughly every 14 agility, so 14, 28, 42 on the hero are the kind of the good numbers to go for. Some Z flags in chat. You want to explain what that's all about, Vitasia?
Sure. So those Z flags are a gigantic inside joke of our free enterprise community. Just a hint: if you want to be in on all the inside jokes, you should join us over on the Discord. However, that Z flag is a question that our community asks itself, and it represents kind of a long narrative. Long story short, because we like to randomize everything, we would love to randomize the final boss. However, we can't. We can't mix up the final boss into anything else, any other spots, because big bangs to the antlion really, really hurt. So instead, we have a nice curation of several hundred. I've lost track of how many exactly Z sprites there are in the pool. curated by everyone in the community. So that Z flag is really a question: whose butt are we intended to kick tonight?
And all the other questions that we've developed over the years. Does it have a head? Is it cute? Does it even have a butt? Can't do taxes. Did it cheat on taxes?
One of these days we'll get just like a massive checklist where each, like, there's enough questions asked that uh, the answers to all the questions will be a unique identifier to whatever Z flag it is. And oh, okay.
Well, this Z is very unique. It's a unicorn.
Unicorn miss. So that's whose butt we're going to kick. It does indeed have a butt. I am not going to comment on whether the butt is cute because this is the wrong channel for that.
Yep. Neurocod used a Silk Web a little bit too early. The first one disappeared because Z wasn't a spot where it could be vulnerable yet. That took a little fix to get through there. Already seeing a shake come off, so it's like, yeah, this Z is a bit fast, but Eddie and Edge are also fast, so we're gonna be just swinging things around here.
Do you try to get a Star Veil up on your Palom or somebody to try to reflect some nukes?
I would probably try to, but I'm not sure if I would really sell out to do it. We're getting a direct nuke cast, so maybe that's a little mistimed. That's going to bring out a counter nuke. And it might take out our Edge here. Nope, not quite.
Yes, Freth, I see your pun that you had in chat. I just want to, because no one else was acknowledging it, so I want to tell you I see it, and I see you, and boom.
Meanwhile, no one is trying the tactic of stealing Eddie's spoon and just yeeting it at this unicorn. And, you know, Eddie's the hero and all, but that would just be hilarious. Take his best weapon and just throw it away for a one-time shot.
We are certainly dishing out a large amount of damage, though. I think Nerukat, despite, I would say, not having the advantage in the race for a large chunk of it, as soon as he got that waterfall, I mean, everything kind of fell into place. We were worried about it. We got the Legend Sword as well. I'm really curious what the Forge was, but I think we're in good position right now. Looks like Rich does have nuke on Palom, though.
This nuke is coming out from Fu, though.
Not on Nerukat. I'm talking over on Rich's side.
Oh, you're on Rich's side. Sorry about that. I'm kind of watching the Z fight over there. Using nuke to get the counter strike. Down goes the healer. That is nerfed, so that's good news for Neurocod's party. See a heal off so we don't get into the Wombo combo here with the Meteos, so that could take down Edward and Palom both if they land. You get rocks.
There is the combo.
It's Fu and Palom, so Edward and Edge survive as does Porum. And there's a Kraken Bang. We are through on Neurocod, so GG to Neurocod.
Absolutely, GG.
Official finish time there of 1 hour, 33 minutes, and 15 seconds, it looks like.
Very well done. Kind of showed some different routing. These two runners really ran in opposite directions, had different priorities throughout the entire race. Uh, but again, everything kind of fell into place once you got up on the moon. Very well done in some of these lower level strats, and didn't have to invest a whole lot of time in grinding. Rich took a little bit different tact. Is going to come in not too far behind Narukad, so it's certainly, just showing a different highlight. Probably didn't need to do as much grinding as as he did, but wanted to be safe, and there's no harm in that.
Yeah, and what they did definitely hit her BG Riches never got to 10 key items, so none of the fights ever got doubled along the way, whereas Nirukot had the doubles, got several extra levels out of it. So one or two less fights there. And the big difference there, I think, would be not taking the Baron in, because the Baron in, what it had, that would have been the extra key item that was needed.
I mean, it is worth noting that Narukad did dedicate a large amount of time. I think there was the uh, first 10 minutes of fighting. So I think minute 10 to 20, Narukad was spent bouncing off that between Kaigen and I think it was Dr. Luge was the second half of that fight. Just
Wow.
trying to get through that at lower levels. Rich never went there.
Yep, and while it wasn't required in the key item hunt, for sure, because we didn't need the forge, one extra item there. It's like, yeah, Nirukot hit 10, and sometimes that's the difference in the race. Just that found a piece of junk along the way that isn't required, but it gives you a boost down the line. It looks like we are seeing that BG Rich is also taking a different approach to this Z. This looks like reflect strats going on here.
Yeah, I did see his Eddie had been knocked over earlier to not get experience. Probably has a curse ring, trying to just focus on reflect strats. Maybe throwing some darts here and there.
Well, floor ward is certainly a thing in this C, but mostly if you just not want to waste actions on him, because you get the experience regardless. It has some apples in the Edwards, so 1309 isn't reflective of the actual level here, but Eddie's fairly fast. So he is cursed, I think, but I don't know if Edge took the spoon to eat it at the start of the fight, because I know when I did this fight, it's like first day it was like, okay, Eddie, you're taking your spoon, and Edge is darting the thing. And then Eddie and Edge just spent the rest of the fight just watching the casters duke and wipe the whole thing to death.
Were you able to do the setup where you exchange the spoon for another weapon and then zerked him up without the fight command, so he was still dealing rockin' damage, and then you threw the spoon?
No. The strategy was full reflect, not the hybrid strat. It looks like V'ger shouldn't have any problems with this fight, given the levels are good, the damage output is good. We'll just probably have to refresh the wall on somebody else, because the Cole should be coming out here shortly. Did lose Palom, because I think that Big Bang was just a little bit too strong. All is down, but there was no cast going to knock out the Edge, so this should be fine. Oops, well, never mind. There was a white queued by Edge.
Already come to another shake, so gotta get some nuke casts off and get these reflections going again.
And one thing here is to know where you kind of are in the count, because that's Crack Bang Boom GG for BG Rich. I just wait, took a direct shot there instead of setting up the reflect again, but I have to know where your count is in order to know if that's going to work. GG to BG Rich, official time there of 1 hour and 38 minutes 23 seconds, about 5 minutes behind Nirukad in the end. And actually, this was a very tight race, all things considered, among the people who ran it. Tall Grant won the week at 1 hour and 19 minutes 9 seconds. Everybody else is between 1:33:15 and 1:38:23. So about a 5 minute jam for five other racers. I thought this was a very fun one from Eddie for sure. And yeah, we'll see if Eddie happens to survive into the later part of this season because, spoiler alert, there's going to be a vote after this current seed, which is featuring Fu. So your choices for the next vote are going to be Fu, and you have Eddie. One stays, one goes. Want to keep the useful hybrid mage who's not all that interesting? Or do you want the bard who is very useless if there's no spoon around? If you're in the
Oh, it
audience
all
and care
sounds.
to influence it, join the async. It's currently live with Fu's seed, and Fu has a rather moon-themed flag set. So, yeah, if that interests you, come on, join the fun.
Oh, and of course, Survivor Hero Island is just one of many themed clubs that are going on in the Community Club Showcase, kind of the down season between our major tournaments here in the free enterprise community. All of them, of course, available for discussion over on our Discord. Make sure to join us over on the Discord. Again, one last shout out to our entire broadcast team, not only BG Rich 419 and Narragod for the runners allowing us to showcase their runs, but also everyone behind the scenes. Step Lively for the tracking for this one, Joker Mage for the restream, and Garen, my co-commentator and the manager of this club. It's always a pleasure working with you, sir.
Yes, thanks for joining along and providing the voice behind the booth there for a lot of great commentary. And hope we do this again sometime real soon.
Absolutely. Don't forget, there's also going to be, if you want some more free enterprise, not necessarily tonight, but there's also Lunar Racing Club tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock Eastern. Will be, that's should be announced a little bit later this evening, but that will be on tomorrow evening if you want some more free enterprise. Otherwise, let's see if we
Um,
can.
Before we jump off to some other location, possibly, also want to plug the Wacky Race is going on Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on this channel. It's also another fun club, and we hope you join us for that as well. Let's see. Are we going anywhere tonight?